Roger Stone here. Every day you wait, your money loses value, but gold and silver don't follow those same rules. American Sovereign Bullion gives you access to a nationwide wholesaler network, helping you secure aggressive pricing on real physical metals. Call 844-272-2428 now to get your free gold and silver guide to learn how to protect your wealth with physical gold and silver, delivered right to your door or with a gold IRA. Visit asbgold.com. That's asbgold.com for your free gold and silver guide today.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Sean Spicer, former political aide, he did serve as the 30th White House press secretary and White House communications director under President Trump in 2017, was communications director of the Republican National Committee from 2011 to 2017, and its chief strategist from 2015 to 2017. He does host Full Court Press with Sean Spicer, which you can listen to right here every Sunday morning from 10 to 11. And best of all, Sean Spicer can dance. You think I forgot, Sean? I didn't forget.
Well, that's the most important thing. And I don't know that I would agree that I can actually dance. I may have advanced in a dance competition, but I think that was more of my campaigning skills than it was my actual dancing skills. So,
listen, say what you want. The fact is, 2019, right before COVID, I remember watching my friend Sean Spicer on Dancing with the Stars. In fact, you came out with me and Bernard to talk about it. You did a great job. That was good stuff.
Well, thank you, Sid. I will say that the president called me the night that I got eliminated from Dancing with the Stars. And I made, despite my inability to actually have any rhythmic movements in my body, he said, you know, Sean, you're no Fred Astaire. And I said, Mr. President, you're right about that. So, like I said, I can campaign. I got the votes to move on to the quarterfinals week after week. But I think the judges made it very clear my skill set was not there on the dance floor.
That's okay. You were great, too, in your position when you served under Trump as the White House press secretary. They busted your balls about the inauguration. It was so stupid. And I got to tell you, I've become pretty good friends with Levitt now. I like her a lot. And, you know, you look back at the last 4 years of the folks that had that position for Joe Biden, that Karine Jean-Pierre, she's just dumb. I'm sorry I said it. She's just dumb. Jen Psaki wasn't dumb.
I won't correct you, Sid. I will not
Thank you. She was just dumb. Jen Psaki wasn't dumb. She was just evil. But all in all, it was a ragtag bunch of losers. And then you guys, all of you, from you to Sarah Huckabee Sanders to McEnany to, of course, Levitt right now, all of you guys are winners. What do you think of Levitt right now for President Trump?
Well, look, here's the thing. And you mentioned at the outset, I wrote this brand new book, Trump 2.0, that just came out. And I have an entire chapter in there about the changes that Caroline made to the briefing room. And part of the reason I wrote Trump 2.0 was to make sure that it just didn't get unnoticed. Caroline made some structural changes in how all of us get our news. So when I was press secretary, I brought Skype into the room. I did all these things to help end the stranglehold that the NBCs and New York Times that had on what you saw, read, and heard. And I don't know that we have enough time to get into it, which is why it's always a great idea to buy the book. But what Caroline did is further, and then by the way, and then what did you mentioned Psaki and Karine Jean-Pierre? They cut the credentials for 300 independent journalists. So for all this talk about the free press and all this stuff, that was what they did so that they could minimize any questions that Joe Biden would get. What Caroline then did when she came back is she revolutionized the briefing room. She allowed more media outlets in there from all sorts of stripes, conservative, liberal, independent. And that has been good for democracy. It's been good for our country writ large. It's been good for journalism. And so these are the kind of changes that I document. And part of the reason I wrote the book was so that there's a place to explain what I like to say is the why, Sid, which is it didn't just happen. Caroline didn't just come up with these ideas. She's a smart woman, don't get me wrong. But part of it was she had time, just like President Trump did, to go out and talk to me. She talked to Sarah. What would you do differently about your job? What changes could I make to make improvements? And then she wrote them all down and she laid them all out. So she had, and also the America First Policy Institute, I note this in the thing, they interviewed all of us from like the senior position in the Trump 1.0. and they gave our successors, including Caroline and Stephen Chung, a copy of this report and said, okay, here's what your predecessors said that they would do differently. Now, did they take every recommendation? Probably not. But at the end of the day, these guys got the ability to start Trump 2.0 in a very different position. And I had this conversation with the president just the other day, and I said, it's not one's better than the other. That's not the point of Trump 2.0. It's to explain the why. Why is it different? And the reason is because those intervening 4 years, Sid, I don't know if a lot of Americans don't fully appreciate this. There's only been 2 presidents in our entire history that have had 2 terms that weren't consecutive. And Donald Trump's the first one in modern history. And the reason that I go into detail on this is because what he and his team did in the intervening 4 years is everything to do with why they are so successful right now.
God, you are so right. Sean Spicer, you got to buy this book, Trump 2.0, The Revolution That Will Permanently Transform America. And, I speak to the president every now and then, not like you, okay, but we texted each other Sunday after they try to kill him again on Saturday night. He's on this show every couple of months. But those 4 years when he was sitting at Mar-a-Lago and stewing, okay? And I can tell you about meetings I had with him at the golf course at Mar-a-Lago, great conversations. A year before he even won, we sat together at the golf course, and he was talking to me as if he was still president. He knew exactly what he was going to do when, in fact, he beat Harris. At the time, I thought it would be Biden, but when he was going to win. So he didn't sit there for 4 years, right, and just play golf. And no, he sat there for 4 years, stewing because he thought he won and they screwed him, and on top of it, preparing himself for the next 4 years.
Yeah, can I respectfully tweak your word? I don't think he just stewed. They planned. They plotted.
Yep.
So all of this, they used that time, and I know that's what you're getting at, Sid, but I think for listeners to fully appreciate this, and that's literally why I wrote the book. And when I had this conversation with him the other day, I said, Mr. President, what you guys did in those 4 years in between, you just mentioned you're going to the Yankees. I'm sorry that you can't go to a Red Sox game, but I guess in New York, that's the best you guys can do.
Whoa. You just fired your manager because you're so bad.
Well, we just updated the roster. It was more of a house cleaning, just to be clear.
You guys could barely beat the 76ers. This is not the morning, Sean, to be talking about Boston sports.
All right, good point. Okay. So, but here's the thing, is that those intervening 4 years literally matter. Like what they did, the plots, the plans. Tom Homan didn't start this administration and randomly go to cities. They knew exactly where to go, what cities to choose, how to implement the policies. They knew what they were doing, and that's the important thing to understand and why I wrote Trump 2.0. And I'll tell you this right now because a lot of people ask me, I'm coming to New York, by the way, to do a couple book signings up there. But if people in the WABC listening world say, hey, I'd love a signed book for Mother's Day, because most polls, Sid, I don't know if you know this, Reuters, Ipsos, Gallup, all have done a huge poll that said that Trump 2.0 is the number one gift mothers are asking for Mother's Day. So if you want it signed, all you have to do is take a screenshot of your Amazon purchase and send it to contact@SeanSpicer.com, and I'll send you a personalized book plate to put into the book.
Well, I can tell you this. Before we move any further, my mother, Naomi, who just turned 91, we share a birthday. I was born on my mom's birthday. So last Sunday, April the 19th, I turned 59, and my mother, Naomi, turned 91. She loves the president. The president knows it. Every now and then he'll come on. I'll play a message from my mother. Everything Trump she loves. So Naomi Rosenberg would love a signed Sean Spicer book. Love it. Well, I guess we're not getting it.
No. I was going to say, I was in shock. I was thinking to myself, how do I don't know how we can do this, but Naomi, you're getting a book. Sid, and by the way, I know how well John Catsimatidis pays you. I think you should get one for the entire family. Go to Amazon right now, order that, send the receipt to contact@SeanSpicer.com. But that's going on either the ABC credit card or I don't really care, but just I would act now so that you don't want to disappoint Naomi.
No,
you do not want to do that. You know that.
The Marine Toys for Tots foster care program is bringing hope to children who need it most. Every 2 minutes, a child enters foster care, often with only a small bag of belongings. More than 400,000 children face trauma and uncertainty, many before age 8. This May, during Foster Care Awareness Month, Toys for Tots is creating Room for Joy. In 2025, nearly 375,000 children received comfort through toys, books, and essentials, reminding them they are not alone. Donate now and change a child's life.